Today I'm here to review my 100,000+ mile BMW X5M. It is the F85 chassis, and as you can see, it's not here. I actually wanted to make this video a while ago, but before I got a chance, I got rid of it. And I got rid of it recently. It was 4 long years of a love-hate relationship, and I'm gonna tell you everything that was wrong with the car, everything that I replaced, and some of the good stuff that I liked about it as well. Starting with the good stuff, the performance. Performance-wise, they run quarter-mile times very similar to my C6 Corvette. It was an incredibly fun car. It was definitely an ego checker and a feelings herter. A lot of people didn't expect it to be so fast. So it was a really fun car to have in that regards. It had an adaptive suspension. You had multiple modes you could put it in. It felt like a sports car as long as you weren't in comfort settings. So from that aspect, great car, very fun to drive. I love the way they sound. They had a nice deep rumble. They sound even better when you put a nice exhaust on them. It was practical. It had plenty of room. You could seat 5. You could go get groceries in it. It was an all-around, it was a very practical car. It's an SUV. It handled great in weather. Not like, one of these exotics or just any sports car in general. So from that aspect, I absolutely love the car. It was a great family car. But from the other side, it was a BMW. Not only was it a BMW, it was a BMW M Series. And if you've ever owned one, which I have before, they're finicky and they can give you a headache if something goes wrong. And this unfortunately had many things that went wrong with it. I've had videos on some of it, and some of the BMW fanboys are calling it, oh, that's just preventative maintenance that you have to do. I'm gonna tell you, I've never had to replace an intake before for preventative maintenance because it's so cheap it broke. I mean, my Corvette is half plastic, and still, I've never had to do anything like that. So I'll go through all the maintenance costs that I had. I went through 3 sets of tires since I owned. Some of that was just road hazard. When I first got it, the tires were pretty new, and then about every month after I first got it, somehow we got nails in the tires that couldn't be fixed because they're in the sidewalls. So that wasn't so much wear. But the next set that we had did wear out. They wore out pretty quickly, I think about 20,000 miles. So by the time I got rid of the car, we were already on our 3rd set of tires. Those tires are not cheap. The rears are about $600, $650 a piece, and the fronts are about $500 or so a piece. So on a good set of Michelins or something, you're gonna spend probably close to around $2,500 for a set. And on those, you can expect to maybe get 20,000, maybe 30,000 on the front. The other thing I noticed it went through pretty quickly was, well, let's start with some of the stuff that tore up. They have suspension issues. Ever since we bought the car, I think they said one of the shocks was leaking, or 2 of the shocks, I can't remember. The shocks alone, just buying a replacement set, is $1,000 a piece. That doesn't include installation. The other things that tear up are the front differential. We did replace the front differential. I was quoted multiple quotes. It's usually going to run you about $6,000, maybe $5,000. That's with the factory one. I did get one from Rock Auto that was only $1,000, and found somebody who changed it for another $1,200. So I kind of got lucky on that one. Now the other things that tear up though, besides the front differential, is the front drive shaft. I never replaced it on mine, but you can get to the forums and you're going to quickly find a lot of people who have had catastrophic failures. Now, if they do fail, they tear up the transfer case. And if you tear up the transfer case, I think that is maybe a $15,000 job. I can't remember. It's definitely not something cheap though, which brings us to the transfer case. You need to change the fluids in the transfer case and the transmission, even though BMW says lifetime, it's not, and the rear differentials. If any of them fail, they're very expensive items. A full service on that from most indie shops are probably going to be, I think I got mine done for around $1,400. That was all those fluids. So not too bad of a cost considering it's a BMW. If you go to BMW though, it's probably going to be, I think, a $3,000 job. I think it's somewhere around there. Now, one of the other bits is the intake boots. They are plastic. They're not good plastic. Those and the CCV hoses, they break over time. When we got ours, they were apparently already cracked. I just didn't realize it. Somebody had put a JB weld on it to try to stop it, and I just didn't notice it. Shortly after we got it, the car started having issues, and then I ended up tracking it down to that. I did it myself, and I think it cost me somewhere around $400, $500 for replacement sets, and that was me doing my own labor. Now, I don't know why, but for whatever reason, these things go through spark plugs and coil packs a little quicker than what I'm used to. Usually in a lot of cars that I've had before, I haven't had to change them before like maybe 50,000 miles. On my Corvette, I got 75,000 miles out of my original spark plugs. On those cars, their spark plugs go bad real quick around 30,000 miles. So just keep in mind, every 30,000 miles you're gonna have to change these. They're not that cheap. Sure, you can get cheap sets, don't do that. I did that by accident. I thought I was buying what was a good brand because it was a nice German brand that I'd never heard of them, but still, I mean, German stuff's usually pretty decent. These were not decent. So just get Bosch coils, save yourself the headache. And of course, I always go with NGK spark plugs. Buying a set of 8 coils and spark plugs for that is much more expensive than buying 10 spark plugs and coils for the Lambo. So keep that in mind. You're probably going to spend around I think I spent $500 or $600 to change those out, and I had to do it twice since I owned the car. We did put about 50,000 miles in the 4 years of ownership that we owned the car. Outside of that, there wasn't too many more issues. I think that was just for the most part it. The only other weird stuff is if the car sits out in the sun too long on hot summer days, you'll get this stupid warning on your dash of no tones, and then you can't use your radio. You have to turn the car off, let it sit, and then turn it back on, and then you can play your radio. You can't use any media at all, actually. And then oil changes. I change the oil every 5,000 miles. The BMW oil is a little thin. I did eventually switch to Motul. That's what I use in the Lambo. It's pretty good oil. It does help some of the oil consumption, because that's another thing. If you get one of these F85 X5Ms, they burn oil like crazy. I think the manual says they can burn up to either it's a quart every 1,000 or 600 miles. I can't remember. Either way, it gets annoying having to carry a quart of oil everywhere. Especially the expensive oil that I was running, that's usually like $15 a liter, and you can't get it at any stores, so I always had to have just spare sets on hand. The last thing I would like to mention that I did not address also is the regular drive shaft. I see a lot of people upgrading those. I never did that. I wasn't worried about that as much as I was the front shaft, which seemed to fail way more often. I don't think I mentioned the price before, but those are $800 to replace if you go with an upgraded shaft. I think it's about a little cheaper from the factory, but there is a guy that builds an upgraded shaft, hopefully, so you never have to deal with the problem again. It has longer splines. The other problem is what has been common among a lot of M series cars over the years is rod bearings. We never changed ours. Honestly, don't know if it's that big of a problem, but I do see a lot of people mentioning it, and I've seen a lot of horror stories of failed engines for the rod bearings, so that would be another job to keep in mind. The quoted cost I kept seeing was around $2,500 to change those. Don't know how accurate that is, but that seemed to be the rolling theme, so just keep that in mind. So if you had all those costs up in mind, if you get one of these cars, you can get them pretty cheap now. You can get them in the low 20s now, but you're gonna need to budget probably somewhere around $15,000 if you plan to own it for a little while. I think personally I probably spent somewhere around $10,000 or so upkeeping ours. That's including regular maintenance, but just keep that in mind. That's, for me, I've never had to spend that much money on another car before. So weigh the pros and cons. Fantastic performance car. It is actually practical. As a daily driver, my wife drove this thing again for 4 years as a daily, but you're gonna need to be either mechanically inclined or have pretty deep pockets if you're not, because all the costs I just quoted you are probably going to double if you have to go through either BMW or having an indie shop do every single thing for you. So just keep all that in mind. Don't regret buying it. I loved it while I had it to an extent. Would not own another one. So just keep all that in mind. Do your research, and good luck.